Gosh, that's a good question. I think probably the bigger ones was we probably got couple key athletes, like higher paying athletes. I think a Warp Tour had been going, but we probably like upped that whole program. We had like the Volcom stage for the Warp Tour for many years, and just beefing up ad campaigns, really, just going much, much bigger. And
like across mainstream media, or just
you know, we kind of just got even more into the core a bit. It was funny because we took an opportunity to really reinvest back into the core as well, which, I mean, that's the foundation, is you want to make sure that foundation is solid as a rock. So that was definitely what we did. Was instead of 2 pages, we did 4. Or like during those times, you know, it was like, man, the books were like 300 pages and people were doing like 8-page ads at the time in snowboarder and skateboarding and whatnot. So, but yeah, there was a lot of investment back into the core, and then a few, like I said, I think the X Games stuff was a few commercials that were high ticket items. But it was maybe like a Shaun White would have been like the mainstream play, you know, at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I worked with a couple of companies that were public, and you know, I think what happens as a marketing person, what happens is you start to kind of shift your thinking in that, you know, okay, is this cool? Great, box checked. But then you also got to look at it and say, what is this going to do to the bottom line? Are we going to move product? Is the number going to go up? Because I know that the higher ups who are looking at the sales and all that stuff, how do you think? And think about moving the needle and growing sales, because when you're public, you know, growth is mandatory. It's not an option.
Yeah.
You know, profit is not an option. That's mandatory. So you kind of take on that extra effort to, you know, go back and say, okay, is this going to move the needle?
Yeah.
And I remember with one of the companies that I worked with, we really stepped up our non-endemic marketing efforts. You know, so you have the endemic industry and everything, all the people that kind of know your brand already, and at some point you kind of hit you know, the point of diminishing returns. You know, if I run another ad, you know, it's like, am I really going to move the number up? If I put out another board short, are sales going to go through the roof or something like that? What I saw was, how do you take your marketing to that next circle of potential customers and bring them in? And you know, you got to get creative. You have to kind of walk that line of making sure that the core doesn't think you're selling out, and that you're not going too far where, you know, you lose your brand.
Yeah.
Sometimes kind of hard to do, but that's the difficulty. When you go public, you got to play both sides of the fence, the core, and I think that's more important in our little, you know, industry. You know, everybody gets, you know, scared. It's like, man, if I walk down the beach and everybody knows that I'm with Volcom, are they going to think I'm a sellout because I work for the brand? You know, that's some part of it.